This is enmity in the time of ease, that our wealth and our children, our wives, our husbands, they can be a trial and a temptation for us, a great trial and temptation because of our love for them. We may disobey Allah and not fulfill His commandments in order to please them. That is the big test. To be worshiping Allah, to be obeying His commandments in the time of ease. That is the greatest test. Okay, inshallah, I'm going to stop here and we'll continue with the last two. We've reached number 6 of the habits for those who are truly successful. We'll continue it after Salat al-Isha, inshallah, followed by questions and answers. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika, nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulil Kareem, wa ala alihi wa ashabihi, wa man istanna bi sunnati ila yawmiddin. All praise due to Allah, and may Allah's peace and blessings be on His last Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and on all those who follow the path of righteousness until the last day. Before going on to the last point, or the second last point, which is the 6th habit or characteristic of those who are truly successful, I would just like to touch on the issue of how do we gain patience? How do we develop it? And it is like all the other characteristics based again in issues of knowledge, knowing, understanding what Allah has said with regards to patience, knowing that whatever befalls us is a result of what we have done. We can't blame Allah. As Allah said in Surah Shura, 42nd chapter, verse 30, وَمَا أَصَابَكُم مِّن مُّصِيبَةٍ فَبِمَا كَسَبَتْ أَيْدِيكُمْ وَيَعْفُ عَنْ كَثِيرٍ. That whatever befalls you is from the result of what your hands have done. And Allah forgives a lot. And in Surah Fatir, 35th chapter, verse 45, Allah said there, وَلَوْ يُؤَاخِذُ اللَّهُ النَّاسِ بِمَا كَسَبُوا مَا تَرَكَ عَلَى ظَهْرِهَا مِن دَابَّةٍ. That if Allah were to take people to account for what they have done, the punishment would be so severe that there would not remain a living creature on the earth. And Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, had said in a narration from Abdullah, مَا مِن مُسْلِمٍ يُصِيبُ أَذَى شَوْكَةٌ فَمَا فَوْقَهَا إِلَّا كَفَّرَ اللَّهُ بِهَا سَيِّئَاتِهِ كما تحط الشجرة ورقها. That is, any Muslim who suffers harm from a thorn to anything greater than it, Allah absolves him or her because of that suffering of certain evil deeds they've done, the same way that a tree gives off its leaves. So patience in times of suffering is a means of purification from sin. And this is why Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, whenever he visited the sick, he used to say, Tuhurun insha'Allah. May this be a source of purification for you, insha'Allah. We also have the issue of developing patience through forcing oneself to do what a patient person is supposed to do. Prophet ﷺ had said, whoever tries to be patient, then Allah will help him to be patient. Meaning that we deliberately try to do the things that the patient person would normally do, though we're impatient. But if we continue to try to do it, then Allah will help us to develop that quality of patience. The sixth habit, and just to recap what we've covered so far, the first one is correct your world outlook or your belief. The second was commit yourself emotionally. The third was your complete trust is needed. The fourth was patience and perseverance. Now the fifth, I was jumping to the sixth, but the fifth, is modesty. Be modest. Now this is one of the characteristics which Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu anhu was noted for. He was noted for his modesty. In a particular narration which Aisha, wife of the Prophet ﷺ, related, she said that the Prophet ﷺ was lying on a bed in her home with his shin exposed, that is, from his knee down to his ankle, his foot was exposed. And Abu Bakr asked permission to enter the room, and permission was given. And the Prophet ﷺ discussed with him without adjusting his clothing. Then Omar sought permission to come in, and he gave him permission to come in and discussed with him further, again without adjusting his clothes. But then Uthman asked permission to come in. When he did, the Prophet ﷺ sat up and adjusted his clothing. And he came and sat with him and then talked with him and left. After that, Aisha asked the Prophet ﷺ, when Abu Bakr and Omar came in, you didn't adjust your clothing. You just stayed as you were. But then when Uthman entered, you straightened up your clothing. Why? Prophet ﷺ said, shouldn't I be shy towards a man whom the angels are shy towards? Indeed, Uthman is very modest, and I was afraid that if I permitted him to enter the house in this state, he wouldn't have informed me of his need. So this was the nature of Uthman.